Yeah, this is gonna go with me. Hey everybody, welcome to my 20th vlog. I can't believe we've made it that far, and if you're watching this on the day we publish, a very happy Father's Day to each and every dad out there. This is your day. Enjoy it and continue to do good dadding work as we move ahead. What's this for? Heading down on Tuesday to VidCon, to the big YouTube conference. Really looking forward to it. I'll be talking about that coming up in just a few moments because it's the perfect timing for this conference to be coming along. 20 vlogs in. This is the 20th time that I've sat down before you. And for the last, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 or so, we've been doing it just weekly, once a week, and I'm really enjoying this rhythm. And it seems to be catching on. Every week we seem to have more viewers, more comments, which is the thing that I really want in the vlog, is I want it to be a conversation. So I'm really excited about that. We're getting our handle on that. And with that in mind, as I head off down to VidCon this coming week, today's vlog kind of marks a turning point. The really intriguing part for me right now is how do we take this product and start to monetize, start to make it into a business. And so with that end, I have already reached out to a few brand sponsors. I've grown the content to the point where it's time to start talking to companies and finding the right fit. Now, in a product like this, which is so personal and so much of your own integrity and so much of your own personality is tied into it, I think you have to be really careful about what sort of companies you reach out to. There's lots of easy opportunities to do brand deals for anybody that's publishing content on YouTube. You know, you could be doing affiliate deals with anybody from internet service providers to web content creators. There's lots of different, or website creators. There's lots of different opportunities out there for you to monetize. But picking the one that resonates. So I created this list, a checklist, before I reached out to the first of my brand sponsors that I'm reaching out to, with the criteria. And so because I'm based in Canada, I was looking for Canadian companies. I wanted to have a definition and say, okay, I'm looking to work with Canadian companies who have an international presence, because our vlog is viewed internationally, actually more viewers outside of Canada than in. I wanted it to have some serious value to my community, to people that I'm interested in, and that kind of falls hat in hand with the fact that it had to be a product that I already used, that I was already a customer of. Because if I'm going to be endorsing a product, I think it's far easier and far more legitimate for me to endorse something that I've already been spending money on, that I've chosen to be a customer of, and I know what the customer journey and the customer experience is. So I've reached out to a couple of companies, and you'll probably hear me talking a little bit more about it. I'm not going to share who they are at this point, but I am going to be interested to hear how your reaction when I start tying in a sponsor, tying in a brand sponsor message in it. It's part of what I have to do because I want to be, this has got to be a business. Ultimately, it's nice that it's been a voyage of discovery and a learning process doing these first 20 vlogs. But now it's time for me to start figuring out how to make money. One thing I promise you as we move ahead and as I discover things, I will share with you what we're doing. And as much as is appropriate, I'll share real numbers and real revenue and those sorts of things. I'm not obviously going to tell you everything there, but I'm not going to BS you with some unbelievable numbers that are not attainable by anybody. So that all brings me to heading down to VidCon, which is, I don't know if you've ever checked out gone to any of these cons, Comic-Con, any of these different conventions that are mainly fan conventions. And VidCon started out I think it started out as a fan convention. I actually don't know a lot about the genesis of it that much, where it actually began, but it's grown from wherever it started now into a three-headed monster. There's the fan part, which is huge, and it's at the LA Convention Center. And what happens is there's 3 levels to the convention center, and each of the different groups has their own level that they get to attend. First level is the fan level. The next level up is the creator level, where YouTube and YouTube content creators teach practical skills to help build your channel and grow your channel and grow viewership. The third level is the industry level, and that's where you meet people that are interested in making YouTube a business and are making it a business. It certainly costs a lot more to attend this third level, so it's for a lot more serious people. So you're going to find larger channels there, and the brands and the people that are inside the business of actually making YouTube their business. And that's the level that I'm going to attend. And my Voyage of Discovery this time, I've said Voyage of Discovery twice, so I should do a count. My mission in this particular trip is to really get a handle on how these brand deals come together. I know now how advertising works on YouTube, how AdSense works. I understand how affiliate marketing can work. I understand a lot of the different revenue mechanisms on YouTube. But learning and really understanding how brands relate to content creators on YouTube, that's my goal. I'll be sharing most of what I've learned, or a lot of what I've learned, in 2 weeks on Webinar Wednesday. As soon as I get back, we'll have a Webinar Wednesday where I'll do a VidCon wrap-up with what I've learned. So if you're interested in that, make sure you take in our Webinar Wednesday coming up. It's going to be a little bit of a long vlog today because I want to take a step back and I want to talk to you a little bit about Father's Day. Personal story that I'm going to share with you, if you'll give me the grace to listen, about my dad. And it's really relevant to the vlog and to what I'm doing here on the channel, because it speaks to why I do what I do, why I work so hard to stay on top of what's happening with technology and engage so much with technology. Whenever we talk about I talk about any technology, there's always some people out there who have a resistance to the change and a resistance to technology. And I always find that I'm proselytizing for technology's change. And it's in some cases an uncomfortable position, because I don't necessarily think that change is always good, but change is real. And it's how we react to change that I think determines whether or not it ends up being good or bad. But I'm just going to share a quick little story with you about where that comes from, why it's so important in my heart, in my soul, that we engage in all change, that we embrace new technologies, that we master them, and that we participate. All age demographics. My dad was the patriarch of our family. He was a wickedly intelligent man. He had a wild sense of humor, a rapier-like wit. But he always wanted to make sure that his opinion was known in every decision that any of his children made in life. We didn't always appreciate that opinion, but he made sure it was heard. I can remember maybe the last 4 years of his life. We were at dinner one day, and my brother and I were talking about a financial matter. We were talking about a mortgage and that one of us was getting, and it was a new model of mortgage. And I looked down at the end of the table, and you know how sometimes you have that moment with a loved one where there's no words exchanged, but you just know what they're feeling. You intuit it? Is that the right word? Do you intuit it? I had one of those connections with my dad at that moment. I looked down and I just felt what he was feeling, and it was not good. It was a terrible feeling, and it was a real feeling of loss and disconnection. And I also had a realization of why it was happening. My dad didn't have anything to add of value to this conversation. He didn't really know what it was we were talking about, and he felt marginalized. He felt like he couldn't participate in what was a normal, intelligent, everyday conversation that we were having, and he couldn't give his advice. He couldn't participate and bring value to the conversation that Rick and I were having. And this wounded him. It was deep, and it shook me. And it wasn't until after he passed that I kind of came back to this story, and I realized that it was so important to my dad to be relevant in our lives. That was his reason for being alive. I think that's what most of fathers, on Father's Day, most of us want to be relevant in our families, in our communities' lives. And it wounded him deeply to not participate, to not have value to add. That's the reason that I work so hard at keeping on top of technology, having a voice in technology, and being somebody who becomes a resource for others to learn from. That's what I've inherited from my father, is this need to be relevant, this passion for relevance. And it just so happens that the world that I live in, it means I have to stay on top of technology. So even though I don't always see value in the technology, I see value in the participation. I see value in the engagement. And I think that is really the heart of what this vlog and this channel is all about. And on Father's Day, I think it's just entirely appropriate that I remember my dad and the value system that he instilled in me, which is really, when you look down really deep at the roots of what dottotech is all about, it's at the heart of what dottotech is. So thank you for humoring me on that story. I'd love to hear your comments. Maybe a word or two about your dad in the comments would be awesome to see. And fathers, of course, I'd like to hear what you have to say as well. Look forward to seeing you next week. And thanks so much. And for fathers, happy Father's Day to you one and all. Till next time, have fun storming the castle.